Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Connecticut Department of Transportation and the town of Plymouth, we would like to welcome you all for attending this public informational meeting for State Project number 110-137, replacement of bridge number 06129, located on Napco Drive over the Pequabuck River in the town of Plymouth. My name is Preeti Bardwaj, and I am the project manager assigned to this project. We appreciate your willingness to participate in this forum virtually, and we hope that you will find this meeting both interesting and informative. I will now explain some of the goals and format for tonight's meeting. I will be explaining how you will be able to interact with the project team. I will be explaining how this project is being funded in the Federal Local Bridge DMS, or Design Managed by the State program. We will be having some welcoming remarks by the town. I will then introduce the project design team, and that includes the department's front office leadership, the department's bridge consultant design team, and the consultant liaison engineer design team. The consultant liaison engineer will then give a technical presentation of the design, which includes the background of the project, condition of the existing structure, purpose and need for the project, and the recommended viable design proposal, which has been completed to around 30%. As part of the department's public outreach program, it is at this point that we are reaching out to you, the community, while it is still early in the design process, to receive any comments and concerns, and also to answer any questions you may have. We will also have a representative from the department's right-of-way office to explain the rights-of-way process. And lastly, we will have a live question and answer session. I will now explain how you will be able to interact with the project team. There are three means of how you will be able to communicate. The first is by email, which is dot-flbp@ct.gov. And I will also spell that out. It is dot-flbp@ct.gov. You can also phone in, and the phone number is 860-944-1111. Again, the phone number is 860-944-1111. Or you can use the chat function on the MS Teams live event chat. In this format, you can ask a question by clicking the little question mark, which shows Q&A. This will bring up your live Q&A field. Select the Ask a Question button at the bottom right screen, and a field will pop up. And you can type your question and hit either Enter with a little arrow button to send. You can also check the box on the bottom to post your question anonymously if you prefer. There will be a slight delay, but eventually your question will appear in the featured section with all other questions that are asked tonight. The project email, phone, and chat will be screened by the project team during the Q&A session, and the questions asked by any of these methods will be posted to the MS Teams Q&A chat window. The questions will be asked out loud for the project team to answer. You can ask questions at any time during the presentation, but we will answer these questions during the live Q&A session that follows. We also have the project webpage link, where the recording of tonight's entire presentation, including the Q&A session, will be stored. The web page will also contain the same information that I have previously explained on how to provide comments and ask questions. And that project web page is portal.ct.gov/DOT Plymouth 110-137. And I will also spell that out. It is portal.ct.gov/DOT PLYMOUTH 110-137. And lastly, you will have until November 23rd, 2021 to ask questions or provide comments. So if you think of a question after tonight's meeting or want to expand on a question asked tonight, you will have until November 23rd to do so. The MS Teams chat function is only available during tonight's live Q&A session. You would greatly appreciate it if you could fill out a brief survey the department has through SurveyMonkey. This will provide us a great feedback on how to enhance these virtual public meetings going forward. There's also a civil rights flyer available. Both the links to the survey and civil rights flyer are located on the previously mentioned project webpage. I would also like to state, as part of the Title VI Civil Rights Act, that no person shall, on the basis of race, color, or national origin, be excluded from participation or subject to discrimination in the development of this project. I would now like to explain how this project is being funded. This bridge is a town-owned bridge and is being funded under the department's federal local bridge program. Traditionally in this program, the town selects a designer, and because federal funds are involved, the department provides administrative oversight because the department is considered to be stewards of those federal funds. The funding is traditionally 80% federal and 20% town for the design, rights-of-way, and construction phases of the project. However, this project is going to be funded under the department's DMS, or Design Managed by the State program. In this program, it will be the department who will be performing the design on behalf of the municipality, utilizing our consultant liaison engineers, or CLEs, who in this case are BL companies. BL companies has completed the 30% preliminary design, and it will be brought to final design completion by one of our pre-selected task-based designers. In addition, the design phase only will now be funded with 80% federal and 20% state funds, so the entire design phase is at zero cost to the town of Plymouth. Although the preliminary design was performed by the department, it was in full partnership and coordination with the town of Plymouth. We held several meetings with the town and diligently worked together to incorporate most of the town's comments and concerns. And now we are reaching out to you, the community, to also weigh in. The initiative behind the DMS program was to expedite design delivery for municipal projects. The DMS program uses a streamlined design approach where we are able to utilize full departmental resources and are able to internally perform design tasks concurrently rather than linearly. In this program, we are able to cut down the typical design time by a half and bring these projects to construction quicker, which is enabling the department's goal to keep our town bridges in a perennial state of good repair. The department is pleased to be able to offer this program to the town of Plymouth. The DMS program is spending your municipal and tax dollars efficiently and effectively, and at the same time fostering great working relationships with our municipal partners. And with that, I'd now like to hand it over to the town of Plymouth, who have some welcoming remarks.
Thank you, Preeti, and good evening. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Charles Wiegert, and I am the Public Works Director for the town of Plymouth. While the Napco Street Bridge may not presently be your vision of a bridge, it does meet the size requirements to be considered a bridge. Therefore, the Connecticut Department of Transportation performs safety inspections on this bridge every 2 years. The Napco Street Bridge was flagged during those inspections as one of the bridges in town needing repair. We knew that the bridge needed to be completely replaced and were looking for the most efficient way to proceed. Traditionally, the town would have to hire a consultant to develop the plans and then navigate through the design process, with the town covering 20% of the design cost. As Preeti mentioned, the Department of Transportation offered the DMS program to the town. We started talking with the state in February of 2020 to get an understanding of how the program worked and how it may benefit the town. After several more meetings with the state, the town recognized this would be a good joint effort and agreed to move forward. We felt it was a win-win solution for the town since the state pre-selected consultants who would have a better knowledge of the design process, resulting in an early completion of the design and construction, not to mention cost savings. Over the last year and a half, a lot of information gathering and preliminary design has taken place with efforts led by the state and BL companies. They have kept us in the loop on all aspects of the project, including providing us with various technical alternatives, their pros and cons, and also recommendations. I do want to point out that the town does still have the final decision on all aspects of the project. This process has gone really well, and the town thanks the department for truly partnering with us on fixing the town's infrastructure. I look forward to hearing everyone's input, and I am available to meet with individuals personally to go over any questions or concerns as it pertains to this project. Thank you and enjoy.
I would now like to introduce the project team. I am Preeti Bardwaj, the project manager. To my left are the department's front office leadership, which includes Mr. Bart Sweeney, Division Chief of Bridges, and Mr. Lou Bacho, Principal Engineer. Also present from the department are Mr. Mark Burns, Project Engineer, and Mr. Dennis McDonald from the Office of Rights of Way. The consultant liaison engineers who have brought this project to 30% design completion are BL companies. And from BL, we have Mr. Steve Frazier, Project Manager 2, and Mr. Sean Ladowdy, Project Manager 1. So ladies and gentlemen, we are finally ready to present our technical portion of the presentation, and you will be hearing a lot of bridge lingo throughout the presentation. Therefore, I am about to give you a 2-minute crash course on some of the structural components of bridges and culverts and the numerical condition rating systems assigned to bridges and culverts. The type of structure that is located at this site is an asphalt-coated corrugated metal pipe culvert. A culvert is basically a tunnel carrying a stream under a roadway. A culvert is provided under roads and highways for a crossing of water, as roadway embankment cannot be allowed to obstruct the water flow. In the diagram shown, the pipe inlet and outlet are usually supported by end walls and wing walls, as are depicted here and here. All state bridges and culverts and all town bridges and culverts over 20 feet in length are inspected every 2 years by the department's Bridge Safety and Evaluation Unit and are assigned a condition rating on the major elements on a scale of 1 through 9, with 9 being excellent condition and 1 being imminent failure condition. When a major element reaches a 4 or poor condition, that is when we start to initiate a project to address the structural deficiencies. Now that you are armed with basic bridge knowledge, I would like to introduce Mr. Sean Ladowdy from BL Companies, who will be presenting the technical portion of the presentation.
Thank you, Preeti. Good evening. My name is Sean Ladowdy, and I will be presenting the technical portion of tonight's presentation of Bridge 06129 Napco Drive over Pequabuck River in Plymouth, Connecticut. Here is a map of the project site. The bridge is located approximately 0.5 miles east of North Harwinton Avenue. Here is an aerial view of the project site showing Napco Drive, the Pequabuck River, Turville High School, and the surrounding streets. This slide depicts a plan view of the existing bridge. The Pequabuck River is shown in blue, and the existing bridge is shown in orange. The Pequabuck River is the main branch to the east, shown here. A tributary connects the river just upstream of the bridge, which is shown here. The existing structure was built in 1981 and consists of twin 81-inch by 59-inch asphalt-coated corrugated metal pipe, abbreviated as ACCMP arches. The pipe arches are aligned at a skew angle of approximately 42 degrees with respect to the roadway above. The average daily traffic, or ADT, along Napco Drive is approximately 510 vehicles. This is based on the 2017 Connecticut DOT traffic log. This slide depicts a typical section view of the existing structure. A typical section shows a view of the culvert as if the earth was sliced like a piece of cake at the center of the pipe. The structure is approximately 110 feet long and is shown here in orange. The existing pavement section is shown in yellow, and the guide rail is shown in gray. You can see Napco Drive carries one lane of traffic in each direction and consists of two 15-foot travel lanes. The curb-to-curb width is 30 feet, and there are no striped shoulders along Napco Drive. This slide depicts the inlet elevation of the existing bridge. This image portrays the view from standing upstream of the structure, looking downstream toward the inlet of the culverts. The existing structure has a sanitary and water main buried beneath the pipe arches and crosses perpendicularly near the inlet. The existing sanitary is approximately 3.5 feet below the structure, and the water is approximately 1 foot below. The existing structure is not hydraulically adequate. The Connecticut DOT drainage manual classifies the existing bridge as an intermediate structure with a 100-year design storm event and a 500-year check storm event. For the 100-year design frequency, intermediate structures are required to provide 1 foot of freeboard to the upstream control point. For this bridge, the upstream control point is the road's low point, located at the approximate center of the existing pipe arches. The 100-year design storm's water surface elevation is approximately 9.5 inches above the roadway. This slide shows the project area at street level. In the photo on the left, we are looking south on Napco Drive from the approximate location of the structure. In the photo on the right, we are looking north from the same spot. This slide shows photos of the existing condition of the structure. The photo on the left shows a sinkhole repair from December of 2020. The sinkhole was likely developed due to a perforation in the existing pipe arches or at the connection from the storm drainage network. The photo on the right shows the sinkhole as well as the upstream drainage network repairs. This slide shows additional photos of the existing condition of the structure. The photo on the left shows the outlet elevation of the pipe arches where the southern arch collapsed. The photo on the right is an example of the perforations in the pipe arches. The purpose of this project is to address the structural deficiencies of the existing twin ACCMP arches. The latest inspection report dated November 19, 2019 classifies the structure as structurally deficient due to the condition of the existing culvert. The culvert was rated a 3, which indicated the culverts are in serious condition. This is primarily due to the areas of coating loss, section loss, perforations, and rust holes. The channel and channel protection were in satisfactory condition with a rating of 6. A photo on the top right of the slide shows an example of the corrosion, and the photo on the bottom is an example of the section loss.
This slide depicts a plan view of the proposed structure. The proposed replacement shown here in orange consists of replacing the existing twin ACCMP arches with a 24-foot by 6-foot precast concrete box culvert. The precast concrete box culvert will match the horizontal alignment of the existing structure, and new concrete head walls, wing walls, and cutoff walls will be installed to the inlet and outlet of the structure. The roadway reconstruction shown in yellow extends approximately 200 feet in the north direction and 230 feet in the south direction. The intersection at Already Drive will be milled and overlaid to create a clean pavement transition. The horizontal alignment and curb-to-curb width of Napco Drive will be maintained throughout the project site. The right-of-way impacts are shown on this plan in red. They are located here and here. It is anticipated that 3 partial property takes are required to properly have the bridge within the town right-of-way. It is also anticipated 3 construction easements are required to accommodate construction and water handling activities. The existing water main shown here will need to be permanently relocated during construction in order to accommodate the proposed structures. The existing telecommunication and electrical conduits located along the western side of Napco Drive shown here will need to either be temporarily relocated or supported and protected in place during construction. The existing conduit bisecting the northern ACCMP arch shown here will be permanently relocated during construction. Due to the proximity of the water main and proposed structures, the existing sanitary sewer, it is anticipated that protective measures such as concrete encasement will be required. The sanitary sewer is shown here. If it is determined later that the sanitary sewer is in poor condition, then this section will be replaced.
This slide depicts a typical section of the proposed box culvert. The structural length will be reduced to approximately 100 feet to reestablish the natural stream channel and to minimize construction costs. The box culvert will have 1.5 feet of stream bed material throughout the culvert. As previously noted, the curb-to-curb width will be maintained. The roadway width will accommodate 11-foot travel lane and a 4-foot shoulder in each direction. The shoulders will not be striped to match the existing roadway. The shoulder and clear zone were evaluated and determined the metal beam rail was not warranted. Chain link fence is proposed as protective fencing along the head wall and wing walls of the inlet and outlet, but is not shown on the section or elevation for clarity. The next slide is the elevation view of the box culvert. The view shows the proposed structure in orange and the stream bed material in brown. Again, chain link fencing is proposed along the head wall and wing walls, but is not shown for clarity. The proposed replacement will be hydraulically adequate and provides a minimum of 1 foot of freeboard to the upstream control point. The vertical profile of Napco Drive will be raised approximately 1 foot at the bridge. This will help create a hydraulically adequate bridge and provide proper cover for the structure and utilities.
This slide depicts the maintenance and protection of traffic. It is recommended that Napco Drive be temporarily closed at the bridge and traffic detoured around the project site for the duration of construction. Detouring traffic will expedite construction and will improve the overall safety for the traveling public as well as the contractor at the project site. It is anticipated that a road closure of up to 4 months will be required to complete the construction of the proposed bridge replacement. Access to the driveway in the direct vicinity of the bridge will be maintained for the majority of construction, with temporary closures required for certain activities. The adjacent driveway has a back entrance that may be used as a primary entrance for short durations.
This slide shows the proposed detour route in red. Traffic will be detoured around North Harwinton Avenue, Armbruster Road, and Bemis Street. The detour route is approximately 1.25 miles long. The road closure is anticipated to have a 4-month duration. As previously mentioned, the utility impacts include permanent relocation of the existing water main, temporary relocation or protection of the existing telecommunication and electrical conduits located along the western side of Napco Drive, and the permanent relocation of the existing conduit bisecting the northern pipe arch. BL companies will coordinate with all utility companies throughout design and construction. There will be environmental permits due to the impacts to the inland wetlands in the Pequabuck River watercourse. The anticipated permits are United States Army Corps of Engineer pre-construction notification, Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection 4-1 water quality certification, Town of Plymouth inland wetland permit, and Connecticut DOT flood management certification memorandum of understanding. The anticipated right-of-way impacts include 3 partial property takes that are required to properly have the bridge within the town right-of-way, 3 construction easements that are required to accommodate construction and water handling activities, 1 drainage right-of-way, 4 rights to grade, and 1 right to reconstruct a driveway. I will now pass it off to Dennis to explain the right-of-way acquisition process.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dennis McDonald, and I'm a representative from the Connecticut Department of Transportation, Division of Rights-of-Way. I'm just going to provide a brief overview of the right-of-way process. So the function of the Division of Rights-of-Way is to acquire all property and property rights necessary for the project. This is done in accordance with Connecticut General Statute Section 13A73, 13A90AE, and the Uniform Relocation Assistance and Real Property Acquisition Policies Act of 1970 as amended. The typical right-of-way impacts include partial acquisitions, easements, and rights. Impacts are subject to change as the design progresses, but this gives a general idea of typical property impacts. Once property impacts have been established, each impacted property owner will receive a letter of intent to acquire along with a property acquisition map. The letter essentially initiates the right-of-way process, and the map provides a detailed overview of the specific right-of-way impacts. Soon after the letter is received, evaluation process will take place, and once a value has been established, each impacted property owner will receive a written offer of compensation. Property owners will be given time to consider the offer and negotiate should they wish. If an agreement is reached, an acceptance document will be signed, and a closing will take place at a later date. If an agreement is not reached for whatever reason, the state will utilize its power of eminent domain and acquire the property rights through the condemnation process. Now, I understand this has a negative connotation, but many times this is done to keep a project on schedule. If the state elects to pursue eminent domain, the original offer is deposited in the court system, and property owners can continue negotiations or file a formal appeal for a reassessment of damages through the court system. Please note all appeals must be filed within 6 months from the date in which the state files for eminent domain. And that is all I have for tonight. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Dennis. This slide shows our estimated construction costs and schedule. At this time, we anticipate construction to begin in the spring of 2024 and be completed by the fall of the same year. We are currently estimating construction costs of approximately $2.7 million, which will be paid for with 80% federal and 20% municipal funds. This schedule is preliminary and is predicated upon availability of funding.
Thank you, Sean. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes our technical portion of the presentation. I would like to thank everyone on my design team and everyone behind the scenes who helped put this live event together. We are going to leave the Q&A session information on the screen for your benefit, and we will be answering any questions that came in during the presentation and answer any questions that will come in during this live Q&A session. Once again, we would like to remind everyone to please visit the project website to participate in the survey pertaining to tonight's event, or ask additional questions, or view project plans and information. For those of you listening on the phone, the project web page is again portal.ct.gov/DOT Plymouth 110-137. So with that, we are now going to start the live question and answer session. We will take as many questions as we can. Feel free to use that chat feature or call in by phone. The number once again is 860-944-1111, or by email. The address is again dot.flbp@ct.gov. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, please remember that the comment period to ask any questions is open until November 23rd, 2021.
Thank you, everyone. My name is Mark Burns. I'm the project engineer for this project for the state of Connecticut in the Federal Local Bridge Program. I'm now going to start reading off the questions that have come in. We'll keep the chat open for a while, so please feel free to ask any questions that you may have. And also, we'd like to just remind you that we really appreciate if you filled out the survey through SurveyMonkey. So the first question that was asked was, can stage construction be used instead? Sean from BL, can you take this question, please?
Yes. Again, my name is Sean Dottie with BL Companies. Due to the size of the proposed precast concrete box culvert and the location being in the same footprint as the existing culvert, stage construction for this project was not viable.
Okay, thank you, Sean. Another question that came in is, when is construction anticipated to start?
I could take that again. So again, Sean Dottie with BL Companies. Right now, construction is anticipated to start in the begin in the spring of 2024 and end in the fall of 2024.
Great, thank you, Sean. All right, this question came in via email. It says, instead of detouring the traffic to Armbruster Road, a residential area where many drivers speed, can you place detour signs on both directions of Route 72, directing vehicles to Preston Road, Terryville? This is a more direct route to the industrial park, and detour signs in both directions on Route 6, directing traffic to North Harwinton Avenue. Terryville High School is located near the industrial park, so there will be much more traffic on Armbruster Road from staff, students, and parents. Let's keep tractor trailers out of the mix on Armbruster Road. BL, to kind of compress that, the question was generally, can you place detour signs on both directions of Route 72 directing vehicles to Preston Road?
Again, this is from the valuable BL companies. The proposed detour is intended just for daily truck traffic, whether it be shipments or local traffic. It's not intended for through trucks. It's really intended for vehicles to get basically from one end of the bridge to the other during construction. Currently, Bemis Street is posted as a no through truck traffic, so therefore we weren't anticipating having that be part of the detour to have the trucks on that through route. Additionally, down further south of the project, the turn from Bemis Street onto Harwinton Avenue would be a difficult maneuver for the trucks to make. So that was also some reasoning why we went with the detour. Really, the significant truck traffic is for the businesses south of the bridge, and the majority of that traffic would travel coming from North Harwinton Avenue. So that traffic would still utilize Route 72, Purchasing Road, and then Route 6 and Harwinton Avenue. As for the school traffic, the majority of the construction will happen during the summer, so those impacts to the school traffic should be minimal.
Great, thank you, Sean, for summarizing that. All right, the following email question was also submitted. Do you have a plan to prevent beavers from damming up the area? What are the plans to prevent this from happening again? The beavers will come in time. Let's prevent the demise of future beavers. BL, if you could address that, please.
Yep, this is again Solidarity with BL companies. The existing bridge is two pipes that are approximately 6'10" wide and 4'8" high. They are generally in bad condition and they are collapsed, so it is even reduced area than the actual width that we just listed. The new proposed structure will be 24 foot wide by 6 feet high, which is a significantly increased area, and it would be harder for the beavers to make dams. At this time, there's no additional preventative measures planned.
Okay, thank you, Sean. I think that's all we have for questions at the moment. We'll keep the chat open for a few more minutes. Once again, if anyone has any questions, you can use the live Q&A through this Microsoft Teams session, or you can call in at 860-944-1111 to leave a voicemail message, or through the department email address dot-flbp@ct.gov. All right, we'll keep it open for another minute or two more. We don't really seem to have any questions coming in. We want to thank you again for listening in. We appreciate it. Okay, I do not think we're going to be getting any additional questions coming in. So I think with that, we can close the live Q&A event. Appreciate your time for listening in. And if you have any questions, the Q&A, the comment period is going to be open through November 23rd, 2021. And any questions can either be directed to the department or to the town. For those parties interested, there's also a recording available via YouTube. There's information below in the video. Oh, it looks like we have a couple more questions in. The next question that was asked was, where will the contractor place his equipment? BL, if you could take that question.
Yes, this is Sean Ladati with BL Companies again. The contractor will likely place his equipment within the closed area. That could be whether located either to the east or to the west of the culvert location. This will be dependent on his crane equipment he selects to lift this equipment, to lift the precast concrete box culverts.
Great, thank you very much, Sean. The next question that was asked was, how long will construction take, and can construction be expedited? Sean,
yep.
If you could answer that.
Yep. This again, Sean Ladati with BL Companies. We are anticipating this to have a 4-month duration for construction. This could be expedited by using precast concrete head walls and wing walls. And we will explore that as the design gets progresses.
Great. Okay, we'll keep the chat open for a couple more minutes. If anyone has any questions. Once again, we'd like to request if you could please fill out the survey through SurveyMonkey. That was also provided. There is a link available for that in the chat log. For those watching on YouTube, you can see the description below the video as well for any additional information. And to ask any questions, there are links to that information as well in the video description. I think we'll give it another minute or two to see if any other questions come in. I think at this point we don't see any other questions coming in. So with that, I believe we can close the live event. But once again, if you have any other questions, the comment period is open through November 23rd. You can email through dot.flbp@ct.gov or by phone at 860-944-1111. Or you can contact the town of Plymouth as well, and they can relay any questions to us as well. So with that, I'd like to thank you all for attending the event, and we appreciate your time. Thank you. Have a good evening.